In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the agent calculator. This is a tool that we use with our new agents, but also our experienced agents to take their income goals and build it down into an action plan and then also into a budget to understand what that gross income goal will turn into in terms of net take home. So starting off, we have the layout of this is focused on the activities on the left and the budget on the right. So we're going to start on the left. We're going to look at who are we completing this for. So we're going to plop a name in here. We're going to complete this for Joe Smith. What is that gross income goal? A very common goal we hear is $100,000. So we're going to put $100,000 in there and use that as a starting point. That then carries over to the budget, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So gross income goal of 100,000. So in order to figure out how to reach that gross income goal, we need to start backing into all the things that happen before a closing occurs. So let's start off with what is your average commission? And this is going to vary market to market. So we're going to look at what is your average sales price? What is your average commission rate? And also, do you have any kind of a team split? If you're not on the team, this can stay as 100%. If you are on a team, put your split into this box to actually accurately reflect what commission you make on an average sale. So if your average sale is $400,000 and at a 2.5% commission rate and you have no team split, that's about a $10,000 average commission. So really 10 sales is your $100,000, but it's not that simple. You actually are going to have to come down one more level and say, okay, but I'm also part of a brokerage. And what's my cap with the brokerage? How much am I going to pay the brokerage? So in this case, I'm using $24,000 as a placeholder because that's what a typical cap around our marketplace might be. So really, you need to sell another 3 properties at $10,000 to know you've got that $24,000 covered. So what looks like 10 closings becomes 13. And as we work further down this list, you're going to see how these numbers begin to pick up. So to get 13 transactions closed, how many times do you need to go under contract? And as we all know, not every contract gets to closing. There are inspection issues. There are buyers that get cold feet. There's things that happen. So what percentage of the contracts that you write actually become closings? In this example at 90%, that means you would need to go under contract 15 times to get 13 closings. Now, continuing to work backwards, how many clients do you need to sign to get those 15 under contracts? As we all know, not every seller ends up selling, not every buyer ends up buying. So what percentage of your clients that you sign will actually get to the closing table and get under contract? So in this case, I'm using 90% again. So if you need 15 under contracts, you actually need 17 clients to get that because not everybody will go under contract and not everybody will close. Backing up one more step, in order to get 17 clients, how many appointments do you need to go on? If 75% of your appointments turn into a signed client, then 23 appointments will get you those 17 signed clients that will get you 15 under contracts that will get you 13 closings. And you see how this just begins to break it down deeper and deeper to the actual level where you can take action. So if you need 23 client appointments, how many leads do you need? And how many leads do you need per appointment? So how many leads do you need to generate to get one appointment? So if you generate one appointment for every 5 leads, you need to generate 115 leads to get those 23 appointments. Okay. So now you're looking at generating those leads. So how many contacts do you need to make to generate a lead? If on average you make 20 contacts and generate a lead, then you need to make 2,300 contacts to generate 115 leads, to get 23 appointments, to get 17 clients, to get 15 under contracts, to get 13 closed, to make your 100,000. And then let's dive that down into a daily goal. If you work 5 days a week and you work 50 weeks per year, take 2 weeks for vacation, then that's 9 contacts a day. So you need to make 9 contacts a day, given this progression and this math, to make $100,000. Now, anything in yellow here you can change. If your percentages are higher or lower, if you work more days, fewer days, if you take more vacations, more time off, whatever your market looks like, whatever your situation looks like, reflected here. But this will help you actually start from that goal, that income goal, and dial it all the way down into daily activities. So now you do all this and you reach that goal. What are you going to actually take home off of that? What does that take home pay look like? So now we get into a situation where we've got to take that gross income and figure out what your expenses are. And these are just some of the common expenses. And keep in mind, these are business expenses only. Do not mix in your personal expenses with this. So looking at board dues, brokerage fees, all your vehicle costs, repairs, marketing, meals and entertainment, you're going to be out and about. You're going to pick up coffee. You're going to have to eat. You're going to go to networking events. And then this is your stuff happens bucket where your things are going to happen and you're going to need to deal with them. That gets you a net income number. And then you got to figure out what are you going to pay for taxes on that. We always recommend 30%, which is probably a little high, but it's conservative and safe. But consult your accountant to figure out what your percentage should look like so that you're reflecting this accurately. That thing gets down to your take-home income and then your monthly income. So in this case, you're going to make about $4,800 a month if you make $100,000 and have these expenses. So the way to think of this is, what's my goal? What am I going to make? And then what are the actions I have to take to get there, so that you're prepared to actually take the right amount of action to reach that goal and not be surprised when you don't reach that goal. If you find that this number here doesn't make sense or it's not enough for you, or maybe it's more than you want to do, you can always adjust the goal accordingly to build the goal that's right for you. But make sure when you're going through this exercise, you're being realistic with your market and your situation so that you set a goal you can actually achieve and you've got action items you're actually willing to take. Hope that helps.